So today I'm delighted to say that I'm in conversation with the girl who recycled 1 million cans authors, Shazia, Jaffa, Jessica, and Brad's not with us today, Brad Rudover, but we've got Sue Plant, a book publisher for Scholastic. And so I'm delighted to welcome you all. Thank you. The goal is for them, they started Scrap University Kids, and their goal is to eliminate metal from landfill within the next 30 years through education. And they want to teach kids that their everyday actions make a really long-lasting impact on the environment. So choosing to whether to reuse or recycle materials is one way that we can all make a difference. And together we can help protect our amazing planet and our amazing ocean and improve it for the next generation. So the girl who recycled 1 million cans, as I say, was written to teach children about how their actions can make a difference. So we join Ellie and her friends on their adventures to collect 1 million cans. And along the way, they learned that all metal can be recycled. And they soon discover lots of other things too, that teamwork and the willingness to share and adapt can help everyone achieve their goals. Shazia is an elementary teacher. In her free time, she loves to spend time with her family and watch her daughter play ice hockey. Jessica, she's known as Scuba Jess, and you can see pictures in the background there of her wonderful displays of some of her photos that she's taken when she's been diving. And she loves to take photos of amazing sea creatures that she enjoys, also clean-up dives as well. So they've come together with this wonderful book, The Girl Who Recycled 1 Million Cans. So tell us about your journey. How did it all begin? And how did you all come together? And what prompted you to create a book to educate children about recycling?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Jessica, and I will answer this question. So unfortunately, Brad couldn't be here, but Brad is the connecting agent between all of us here. But he used to be one of my customers, and he has been in the metal recycling industry for over 30 years. He was basically born into a scrapyard family. And he is already great friends with Shazia, who is an elementary school teacher, and her husband's in the metal scrap industry. And so we're all very enthusiastic about helping the environment. And I used to ship a lot of metal scrap. I was working at Evergreen Shipping for 15 years. That was one of our #1 exports out of the US. And so Brad was one of my customers, and I kept seeing all this ocean on my dives. I go scuba diving and I do cleanup dives, and there's so many cans, old anchors, lots of fishing gear, just so much metal down there. And I would just take it out of the ocean along with plastic and all the other stuff. But I would send pictures to Brad, and he's like, you know, that is all 100% recyclable. And I never knew that. I always just thought, like, I knew cans because obviously there's little blue bins everywhere. They say, put your cans here. But obviously people are not reading the signs. And so he's like, yeah, you just bring all that metal to the scrapyard, they'll actually pay you for it. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, where I grew up in Utah, we never even really knew about recycling. It was very, like, they never taught it in school. And so we decided we wanted to make a difference. He has 2 daughters, 3-year-old and 6-year-old. And Brad and Shazia already had this story written about the girl who recycled 1 million cans, which is on paper. And so I joined the team. We started this company, and we're teaching little kids to recycle, and we're making it fun and easy for little kids. So
fantastic. Oh, it's so wonderful, and the book's so lovely. So why did you think it was important to write a book? And I can hear where the work was inspired by, but why did you think a book was important?
So a book, so Brad reads to his daughters every night bedtime stories. So originally he was thinking this is a bedtime story, and he reads them cute books that have important stuff in them, but he's just said mostly fluff. Like, it's a lot of fairy tale, like they're not really learning anything. And he's like, at the same time, I would like to have my kids learn something. And he's been teaching his kids as early as age 2 to go collect cans. He's always, if you ask his kids anytime, how do you make money? They say, collect cans. And so he wants little kids to use their imaginations and just think big, and also learn to help the planet. So he's like, if we're going to use this time to read to our kids, we might as well, like, put a lot of knowledge in their little brains, because they're like little sponges, and they'll soak it up and they'll remember. So
absolutely, yeah. So your book, The Girl Who Recycled 1 Million Cans, is really very accessible, I think. Tell us what you mean by the title. I mean, who's the book for and what's in it?
So we chose this title to engage the young inquisitive minds, since once they're hooked, so much learning will happen after reading this book. So I feel like the title creates that thirst to find out more about Ellie and her million cans. And of course, the bright, colorful pictures on the front cover also allow children to imagine and wonder about unicorns on the page. So Ellie also looks like she's going on a type of adventure. So much is going on in this front cover to capture a child's attention. Even adults and teachers feel excited to read this book, like myself, because once we see these colorful titles, we just want to open this book and read it to our children. And as I had a chance to show this title page to the children at school, and right away, they began to make predictions and get excited about unicorns. Kids began to make connections to the word recycling and started to share their recycling stories, which was pretty exciting. The title also helps children make connections to their own life, since every child has learned something about recycling in their life, and most children can relate to it, like in some way, or they all held a can at one point in their life, or they've seen cans in their house. So basically, the kids have not even turned the page yet, and so much learning is happening with discussing just the title and the front cover. So we really wanted kids to get excited about this book, and I feel that this title has really helped us achieve that. And then as you read further, this one title is no longer just a title, but a title with so much knowledge that they can pass on for generations. So we wrote this book to engage children between the ages of 5 and 8 years old, because we thought that would be the perfect age to capture. But little did we know that children as young as 3 and 4 are understanding these key messages about recycling, metal recycling, and we totally did not expect that. Even teachers and parents are getting an opportunity to learn with their kids some interesting facts that they didn't even know before. And we have this little guy named Maglio in the book that shares interesting facts. So basically, Maglio, we didn't even realize how important he would be for the children. The children just love Maglio in the book. So as you can see, he always shares interesting facts in the story.
Which is wonderful, isn't it? Because it's a lovely way to pass on an important message when you're cuddled up, reading a story, just chatting, and it can start those big conversations with little people. And the younger we start, the more difference we can make, really, I think.
Exactly.
So, I mean, the book also, though, it does cover other topics and other themes like teamwork, doesn't it? Tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, I'm going to speak up a little bit here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did explain myself. Today we're talking about the book with different voices, and here's the voice that I'm bringing today to discussion. 22 years I worked for Scholastic, the world's largest children's publisher. I've read over 20,000 books in my 22-year career. I decided to take a breather and transition. I want to be an early literacy ambassador, but I'm transitioning to working in the consulting role, and that's how Jess and Shazia found me. So they asked me to take a look at the book, and I took a look at the book and said, this is an important topic. This is an important book. We all know the power of early literacy, and I love the fact, Sue, that they chose the picture book format. Because for me, picture books is for a lot of children, it's the start of their reading careers.
Yeah.
And it also has that whole read aloud potential, which Shazia referred to, where it can be read in the classroom, it can be read at home. And just from my experience from the business end of it and the structure of reading, I just love the experience that reading the book has brought. Just from what I've seen so far, it's really impressive to take kind of a complicated subject and make it in a fun adventure story. And kids are picking it up, and the artwork really lets them look at that cover and they want, oh, this is going to be fun. And bonus, guess what? We're going to learn. So as a picture book, it's one of the very few I've seen that LEs that start at a young age. I can see older readers enjoying the book, kids who have an advanced reading level, because the questions are going to be a little bit more sophisticated. So I really feel, and because we have the glossary of terms, it's got a very wide reading audience, and not a lot of picture books have that. So that's what I found very impressive about the structure of the book, is that I can see it used in the classroom for preschool, for young readers, and for older readers, because they've got more sophistication about recycling and what they can do. So I think that's one of the magic powers of that book.
Yeah, that's what's wonderful. I mean, you can use it as a springboard. I'm a former deputy head and class teacher for over 22 years myself. And, you know, you could use it in the classroom. You can use it as a springboard, depending on their ages and stages, but off you go to create whatever projects and learning you want to from it, which I think is great. So tell us a bit more about what is actually Scrap University Kids.
Okay, I'll take this one. So Scrap University Kids, it's basically Brad, Shazia, I, and Sue, but we're making recycling fun and easy for kids. And so to the same point about the teamwork, we want little kids to get excited about recycling. We want the whole schools to get involved. And so we want to make recycling super easy and fun. And so we're teaming up with scrapyards across the country and across the world even to bring, it's called the Million Cans Recycle Program. And we're having scrapyards bring dumpsters or big bins, roll-off bins to school parking lots. And the kids can work together as a team and they can decorate boxes and go home and collect any metal item that they want to recycle. So cans plus everything else. Your old Christmas lights, your old phone wires, your old headphones, those all have metal inside. Any old kitchenware, things that you wouldn't normally think about putting in the recycle bin that are made out of metal. And they can bring it to the school and collect metal for a month or whatever time frame works for the school. And then at the end, the scrapyard will take the metal away and they'll weigh it and they'll bring a check to the school for school supplies. And so this way, little kids learn that all metal have value, never throw it in the garbage. We're giving out little magnets to all the kids so they can go around and check if the metal is ferrous or non-ferrous. If it's magnetic, it goes in one pile. If it's not magnetic, it goes in a different pile. We want to teach them to sort metal actually. And so they can learn about the different metals and the different properties. And so we're going to have, we're having the Million Cans Recycle program where teachers can read the books to the kids, get them excited, they collect the metal. We're also we're working on some online classes that anybody can take anywhere on the world. It's gonna be on our website. So the first one will be called Intro to Metal. And the little kids are gonna be little superheroes and each kid has their own favorite metal and they're going to tell why they love that metal. We're also working on a cartoon series. And then also a future book. So we just want to get like so many things out there that little kids can watch and learn. And it'll all be fueled by our spokesperson, Mr. Maglio, that is so adorable. And he just loves to go around saying all metal can be recycled. And so
I just love that. I mean, you jumped it. I was going to ask you about your courses. I was going to ask you about whether there are more books planned. But so tell us where people can go to right now. I'll put it in later into all the notes, but tell us where they can find out all about you. What's your website?
They can go to our website. It's a great resource for parents, for teachers, for kids, for anybody. It's kids.scrapuniversity.com. And currently, we have some coloring pages on there. Anybody can print off free coloring pages. We have Mr. Maglio. We have our unicorn. We have some fun stickers we're going to put up there to order so people can say recycling is like magic. We're going to have a lot of swag, but there's the online classes will be coming soon. We're just waiting on our artists to get some art finalized. And then the cartoon series is going to take a little bit longer, but we want to make like a bunch of seasons of that. The first season, the kids are going to travel all 50 states in the US, and then they're going to go global, and they're going to be learning to recycle in all the different states. And then when they go global, we want them to learn how to say hello in every language and learn different cultural facts of all the different places they go. And and then for teachers, we have Shazia, our very own school teacher, so we have like the secret weapon, and so she's helping us make like learning sheets on our website any teachers can print off, and just fun little games. And then soon we're also going to put up a lot of recycling tips because people are so confused about what they can recycle, what they can't recycle, where. And so we're going to put all of that on our website and resources so everybody can know what to do with their metal.
That is fantastic. It's so exciting, isn't it, to get kids involved and thinking about saving the planet and making a difference. And, you know, this is for generations to come. So it's wonderful to see what you're doing and all the things that you're getting behind with. So tell us, what can parents actually do to model healthy habits around recycling, do you think?
So we all know that children love imitating adults. Yes. And that is how they learn a lot of their habits. So as adults, we need to model the good habits about recycling from a very young age. So basically, you can start by reading our book to the young children, or of course, any other recycling books, since we all know that children love to learn and explore through books. So I think that's a great avenue to start your teaching. As soon as a child understands what a garbage can is, you can start that teaching right away. Basically, you can start by showing kids how the wet garbage goes in the compost and use those terms to make it easier for them. Going on walks and collecting cans to clean up the environment is a great thing to do. You're teaching children about taking responsibility for their environment. Going to a bottle depot together and making it a family event. Another thing you could do is collect a box of scrap metal, because we all know that all metal can be recycled, and then taking it to the scrap yard is another family excursion that you can add in. As children get older, let them take the lead and allow them to be in charge of the recycling at home. So I think that will give them that leadership and incentive, right? As parents, it's our responsibility to teach our children about wastage and how we want to reuse and reduce as much as we can. So even when it comes to buying toys, like for kids, just out of gratification, oh, I just want this toy, have a talk about it with your child on whether this toy can be recycled or reused in the future once they're done with it. Because once we start these conversations, kids will begin to naturally make the right choices and waste less. Buying reusable water bottles instead of buying plastic water bottles, reusing a school backpack for more than a year by washing it and fixing it if needed. So again, they're learning to reuse and reduce that waste, because a lot of times we just throw that backpack away and get a new one the next year, right? So just when we start modeling those things, kids will start to begin to understand how to reduce. Again, for those crafty kids, you can have fun and have a craft day where you can create something out of old soup cans or old boxes and make that a whole fun event. The whole idea of being able to create something new out of something used and old. So again, I feel like it starts with us showing them this path so they can teach others and model for their friends as well.
Wonderful, isn't it? It really is a sort of a virtuous circle. So are there more books planned?
Yeah, so this is going to be at least a series of 4. We want to show the whole life cycle of metal. So in this book, we're focusing on cans because every kid's held a can. And so we want them to know, like, what happens after, well, she has a stack of cans. What happens after you bring your can to the can recycle place? And so you put it in the bin. We want to show what happens next. So the next book, they're actually going to go visit the scrap yard. So they're going to learn about all the other different kinds of metal and what happens to them, show the different piles of the metal, show all of the big machinery, the car shredder. Kids love big machines and the big claw and everything. So they're going to go take a tour of the scrapyard, and there might be some magical unicorn appearances in the background. First, they're going to actually go teamwork. They're going to actually go around their whole neighborhoods with little red wagons and knock on all the doors and collect any old metal that anybody in the neighborhood has. And I think they're going to take a stop at the farm and find some horseshoes, and one of them might be a magical unicorn horseshoe. Anyways, they bring all the metal to the scrapyard and they're going to learn all about it. And then the future books, the next one after that's going to be ocean shipping. And so they're going to load the metal into a container and they're going to go to all the different ports in the world and show which metal is recycled at which country or which different ports. And then the last one's going to be the final manufacturing process of like how they turn that old metal into a new product. Like, so your old can might be a new can, or it might also be like a baseball bat or your bicycle or in your car. And so we want to show them like all the different possibilities. And so that's for this life cycle of metal books. But Sue was saying we might even be able to do like some little chapter books maybe. There's just so many possibilities with recycling because we want to make it really fun and exciting for kids. We don't want it to be like a bunch of facts in the brain. Like
you're going to have scrap metal day, aren't you? And make it global.
Yeah, totally. We really will. Like, there should be a metal day. But every day, like they always Earth Day is like once a year. I feel like every day should be Earth Day. Like, this is our only planet. We need to take care of it. And we need to give all of the knowledge that we have to the younger generation so they can do better than we have been doing.
Absolutely. So
Sure.
I'm thrilled that, you know, you're in the Sue Atkins Book Club. We're going to help you as best we can through social media and all sorts of things. So tell us again, before we come to a close, where people can find you. Tell us your website, and then also tell us your social media platforms as well. We'll put it in some of the show notes here, but it's nice if they can listen and they can go and find you and find out more about your book, buy your book, and then keep an eye on you for your colouring sheets and all the wonderful things you've got planned coming up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, well, you can find the book. We have our website actually here on the very back of our book, but it's kids.scrapuniversity.com. And we're also on Facebook under Scrap U Kids. We just shorten the university BU, so you don't have to type so much. And Instagram is also Scrap U Kids, also on LinkedIn, Scrap University Kids. And we're going to also have eventually a YouTube channel where we're going to put our cartoon.
Sure.
So either just Google Scrap University Kids or Scrap U Kids and it should pop up.
And you're on Twitter as well, because I tweet about you too. What are you on Twitter?
Twitter, that was actually my old Twitter account, but I just revamped it. And it's just my initials. So JJA66 is my initials and my birthday. So
But we can find you, and
you
we'll
can find
put it
it.
all.
Just, yeah, I think if you just search Scrap University Kids, it should pop up.
Lovely. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
and yeah, everybody get the book for your kids, even if you don't have a kid, just
Give it
buy
to
a couple copies and
cousins
donate it to the library.
nieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nieces and nephews and schools. Listen, it's been a pleasure talking with you and
Yeah, thank you
listening
so
to
much.
your enthusiasm, all of you. So thank you so much, everybody, for
Thank you.
joining me here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much for
having
this
us, Sue.
opportunity.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.